If you know me, you know I have never shied away from sharing the real, the raw of running a business and being a human. And I had a really hard time in 2023, and we're going to go into it a little bit. So, if you're new here, this is not just the normal Show It Squarespace website tutorial that I usually give, but this is entrepreneurship. I feel like every single year there's like a word you could use to describe the year, and maybe it's a good word, maybe it's a hard word. 2020, I think of pivot because, coronavirus, that was the year I implemented website in a day, which was, I have some blogs about how that was wonderful. I'll link them below. And, in the beginning of my business, maybe in 2018, I might have used the word like, comparison and just trying to overcome that. And 2023, my word would probably be mush. My brain was mush. I was in that postpartum haze and I didn't get out of it. I feel like we hear a lot about 3 months, postpartum, and then it's like you're expected to just jump into work. And I'm like, thank God I don't work for an employer because I would feel so guilty because my brain was mush. And I feel really vulnerable sharing that because I hope none of my clients see this video because I don't want them to feel like I didn't do a good job on their website or whatever I was doing for them. And I still feel like I produced good work. I just know it wasn't my best work. And more than anything, it took me like 4 times longer because my brain was so hazy and fuzzy. And that kind of there's a lot of things that was contributing to that. I went from 1 to 2 kids, and my baby was very colicky, refluxy, still is. And my toddler, who just had turned 2, was a 2-year-old toddler. We'll just put it that way, and very, very, very needy. I had postpartum anxiety, depression, and I thought I could handle that fine because I'm someone that has had diagnosed anxiety for 13 years. I've learned a lot of really great coping mechanisms and was not the same, we'll say. So things were just really hard. And finally in December, my body just shut down. It's like everything, it started showing the physical, but it was manifesting from the emotional and the mental toll of everything. And I ended up in my in-laws' house on the floor of their laundry room having a complete anxiety attack, which I've probably had only 4 of those my entire life. So I knew at that point things were not great. I got my first postpartum period in 3 years because I never had one in between my kids. And the only reason that is relevant to whoever is watching this video is my hormones were just out of whack. And yeah, it has been a ride. And I don't really have a ton of takeaways of this is what I gained and here's how you can apply it to your business. But I will say that I feel like I learned a couple different things. I learned the importance of community in your place, wherever that is. My family is amazing, but my family doesn't live in my state. And so having my core 4 people who would just step up in incredible ways was absolutely necessary. My husband he took a lot because I couldn't. I got to a point where I was just not doing well, and he had to take nights with our son because I couldn't anymore. And so I learned about grace on a whole different level. And all I'd say, there was a lot of glimmers of good in those 7 months of hard. But yeah, I also really learned the importance of self-care, and I think self-care can look so different in so many ways, but for me it was therapy. I got to a point where I was I need to book a spa day, and I booked a spa 2 hours, which was a lot for me because financially I struggle with spending money. But just doing things like that, I ended up doing a 2-night retreat, which I haven't been away from my daughter for more than 24 hours. booked a 2-night retreat with some friends, and it was kind of like a business, entrepreneurship, goal setting thing, but also just like Jesus. That was really helpful. And just like swallowing my pride and accepting that help from people was, I had to. So all that to say, that was 2023, and kind of stepping into 2024, I am hoping to continue to do those things, those that I've learned. For me, running is another like coping mechanism that I've had my whole life to help with my anxiety. And then when I was postpartum, I couldn't run for 12 weeks, and then like physically couldn't run, but then after that, like mentally and emotionally couldn't. And so trying to get back into that routine, just because getting outside in and of itself is really helpful. And then for me, daycare. The first year of my daughter's life, I did no daycare, and I was home with her trying to run a business. No. For those of you who can do it, props to you. I could not. And so I got her in daycare once a week. Game changer. It reignited my passion for my business. It was just like so good. And then I had 2 kids under 2. And now we're increasing them to 2 times a week of daycare, because I feel like the only way to, like, even with 1 day a week, all I could really do was sustain my business. And I really would love to grow it. And I don't really know exactly what that looks like. I don't know if it's doing more affiliate income type of things. I don't know if it's promoting my programs more, like my Squarespace with Confidence and my Squarespace SEO courses. I don't live launch them because I just don't have the capacity. So I don't know if that's what that looks like. I think like in terms of like website a day clients, I usually only take 1 or 2 a month, and I probably will continue to just do that. But I just want to grow it. I enjoy it. I love marketing. I love posting on YouTube. That's something that really fills me up. So I'm excited to have him in daycare 2 times a week, and I'm hoping that I'm expectant for what is to come. I also have a couple more business goals. Like, I want to try to figure out this whole YouTube situation, and like how can you get paid on YouTube. I know you need a lot of watch hours, so just trying to figure that out. And then lastly, my third goal for business is to invest in myself, which is something that I am not great at. It's in some ways it's a really great thing because I don't have a lot of overhead in my business, and I also don't invest a ton. I'm very, very strategic. Like every year I do 1 investment, and it's usually 1 big investment, but for me, big is like $1,500. And so I want to just be better at that. And maybe that looks like investing $3,000. At this point, I'm 6 years into my business. Like, I probably can be doing that. I don't have a ton of time. And so usually if the time goes down, you might have to invest more. And so I'm not sure exactly what I want to invest in, whether it's a conference or a monthly mastermind, or some type of like really hands-on course where you get a lot of coaching. But I have some ideas in the works, and I'll share more about some of those ideas on my blog that'll link below related to this video. But those are kind of my thoughts on 2023, 2024. I'm glad 2023 is over. I'm hopeful that my brain will come back a little bit more as I start to figure out my hormones and get on more medicine for postpartum anxiety and continue with therapy. So let me know below if this is something you enjoyed. How are you stepping into the new year? Are you like full throttle, have a ton of goals, or are you like kind of just like sliding in like I am and like maybe making a couple goals? I'm a goal setter. Like, I'm someone that usually has like 8 goals, and they're like my health goal, my business goal, my marriage goal, and now I'm like, okay, we got 3 personal goals and we got 3 business goals, and that's about all I can handle. So I would love to know kind of what your goals are stepping into the new year, whether that's personal or business, and if you're ready gung-ho, or if you're just kind of just tiptoeing in.